A rapper's family speaking out after she was found shot to death in Atlanta. Why they say she was targeted. Hey, thank you so much for joining us here on 11 Alive and streaming on 11 Alive Plus. I'm Faith Jesse.
And I'm Cheryl Preheim. We begin with a story you'll only see here on 11 Alive News. A rapper's family identifies her as the woman shot to death in southeast Atlanta.
Probably because I know I'm worth a milli.
You may know her by her stage name, Siditty.
The only Diddy in my city with a lit wrist.
But those closest to her know her as a daughter and a sister.
Just after 1:30 in the morning on Wednesday, April 8th, 2026, police in Atlanta received a call about a shooting on Springside Place SE. When officers arrived, they found a Range Rover stopped in the middle of the roadway. Inside the vehicle was a young woman. She had been shot multiple times. She was 14 weeks pregnant, and she was already gone. Nothing was taken. Her car was still there. Her belongings were untouched. Whoever did this didn't come to rob her. They came specifically for her. Her name was Qualeisha Barnes. The world knew her as Siditty, a rising rapper from Detroit who had spent nearly a decade in Atlanta building something real. Music, a brand, a future. And there's one detail in this case, something her mother said almost immediately after learning what happened, that I haven't been able to shake since I first heard it. Something that could completely change how we look at who wanted Qualeisha dead. We'll get there, but first, let me show you who she really was. Before we go any further, hit that subscribe button and drop a like. If this story hits you the way it hit me while going down this rabbit hole, share it. Qualeisha's family is still waiting on answers right now. The more people who know her name, the more pressure there is for those answers to come. All right, let's take it back to the beginning. Qualeisha Barnes grew up in Detroit, Michigan. And if you know Detroit's music scene, you know it doesn't give anything away for free. So the artists who earn respect there do it the hard way, through consistency, through pressure, through proving they belong. Qualeisha proved she belonged. She built collaborations with artists like I Swear Vezzo, Babyface Ray, and Peasy, names that carry real weight in Detroit rap. She created her identity as Siditty and kept building it, not just as an artist, but as a business. She moved like a CEO, treating her music like something bigger than just songs. She had also been living in Metro Atlanta for nearly a decade. Detroit roots, Atlanta lifestyle, two of the most influential music cities in the country. She had connections. She had a network. She was in motion. And there was another side to her life that many people didn't know until after her death. She was close to finishing school, enrolled in a healthcare program, making the dean's list, just a few semesters away from earning a nursing degree. A rapper and a future nurse, a CEO and a student. A woman building multiple paths toward a future she was actively creating. Her sister, Shatara Davis, said something that perfectly captures who Qualeisha was beyond the music. She said, I know her as Qualeisha. I know her as Laylee. I know her as us, same house, same bed. That's what I know her as. All that friend stuff, I don't care about none of that. That was my sister, that was my baby. That's not a public statement, that's grief. It was early Wednesday morning, April 8th, 2026, around 1:36 a.m., the part of the night when everything is quiet. Someone called in a shooting on Springside Place SE in southeast Atlanta. When police arrived, they found Qualeisha's Range Rover sitting in the roadway, not parked, not pulled over, just stopped. The kind of position a vehicle ends up in when the driver is suddenly no longer in control. An Atlanta police spokesperson confirmed that officers found a female victim inside the vehicle, deceased from apparent gunshot wounds. Multiple shots. The exact number was still being confirmed early on, but her family would later say she was shot 4 times, in the face. Police quickly ruled out any possibility of this being self-inflicted. This was a homicide. And then came the detail that shifted everything. Investigators believe someone fired into the vehicle from the outside. That means someone approached her car on a dark street at 1:30 in the morning and opened fire directly into it. When detectives looked at the scene, one thing stood out immediately. Nothing was taken, not her car, not her purse, not anything inside. This wasn't a robbery. There was no attempt to take anything. There was only a target. And this is where the case moves into territory that hasn't been fully explained yet. Because almost immediately after learning her daughter was gone, Qualeisha's mother shared a theory, one that changes how you look at everything. Qualeisha Barnes was 14 weeks pregnant when she was killed. Her mother confirmed it publicly. 14 weeks, far enough along that this wasn't just news. This was a future already being planned. The shooting didn't take one life. It took two. But her mother didn't stop there. She said she believes Qualeisha was killed because of that pregnancy. Now, think about what that implies. If that theory is true, and right now it remains unconfirmed, then someone knew. Someone close enough to know about the pregnancy. Someone who saw that child as a problem, and someone who decided that the solution was to walk up to her car and fire 4 shots into her. That kind of motive is specific. It narrows things down. It points towards someone with personal knowledge, someone within her circle. Police have not confirmed a suspect or a motive at this time. They have not publicly stated whether Qualeisha knew the person who approached her car. But based on what we do know, this was not random. And that's the part that stays with you. If the pregnancy theory is correct, then this wasn't just violence. This was a decision made by someone who knew her. I want to know what you think. Does that theory make sense based on everything we know? Let me know in the comments. In the hours after her death, the people who knew Qualeisha painted a consistent picture. Not someone surrounded by chaos, not someone known for conflict, but someone who was building, moving forward, focused on her future. Her sister described a bond that went beyond words. They lived life together, grew up together, shared everything. And she believes Qualeisha was taken by people who were jealous, people who couldn't stand watching her grow. Her family says she wasn't someone out here causing problems. She was working, studying, creating, preparing to become a mother. And yet someone planned this. Someone chose that time, that street, that moment. Someone either knew where she would be or followed her there. Either way, this wasn't chance. This was intention. Atlanta police spent hours processing the scene, collecting evidence, checking surveillance cameras, canvassing the area. And in a city like Atlanta, cameras are everywhere. Street corners, homes, businesses. Investigators are likely going through all of it. But as of now, no suspect has been named. No arrests have been made. Authorities are urging anyone with information to contact Crime Stoppers Atlanta. That line is anonymous, and in a case like this, where the person responsible may be someone close to the victim, that anonymity matters. Because the truth is, someone knows something. And that person may be afraid to speak. But Qualeisha and her unborn child deserve that call to be made. This case is different from a lot of the stories we cover. There's no arrest to talk about, no resolution, not yet. The person responsible for this is still out there, and her family is living with that reality every single day. So, let's be clear about what was lost that night. Qualeisha Barnes had built a name for herself in a competitive industry. She was balancing music, business, and education. She was close to earning a nursing degree, and she was preparing to bring a child into the world. She had years ahead of her, a music that will never be made, a career that will never be completed, a child that will never be born, a future that was taken. Her mother has made one thing clear. She wants justice, no uncertainty, no hesitation. Someone took her daughter, and she wants that person held accountable. And that's not asking for too much. That's the bare minimum. The hip-hop community responded quickly after the news broke. Artists, collaborators, people who knew her personally, the loss was felt across both Detroit and Atlanta. Because Qualeisha wasn't just a name on a track. She was real to people. And I keep coming back to this question. If her mother is right, if this was about the pregnancy, then this wasn't just a killing. It was something far more calculated. If you've been here from the beginning, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share this video. Keep her name circulating, because attention brings pressure, and pressure brings answers. And trust me, the next story we're covering is just as heavy. Stay locked in.